Yellow Home with Ella Schofield and Big House.
I hope you're having a good evening. We're live till 8 and it's 22 minutes past 5. It would be wrong of us not to launch and get stuck in because everyone has been all day. And so I think Big House and I will just stick our big fat oars in. Piers Morgan, obviously celebrity and Good Morning Britain TV presenter from the UK, sparked 41,000 complaints this morning when he talked about his views on Meghan Markle in the interview with Prince Harry. After that happened, Ofcom obviously got in touch with the creators of the TV programme Good Morning Britain. There was a meeting, and Piers Morgan has now, according to the press, he has left, but a few hours ago it was all he's been fired.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, what a lot of people didn't know, obviously Ofcom is the UK's, communications regulator.
That's right.
They regulate TV, which is America. They don't have that, by the way. And big up to big up to the UK for that, because I think it's really important.
They need
regulate
the newspapers.
Facts, but they regulate TV,
Yep.
radio, video on demand, sectors, fixed every mobiles, postal services.
Anything medium like that. Any
But
medium.
that, for me, I wasn't aware of that.
Right.
So for me, the fact that you're able, because you can't complain in America. Everybody said it's a jungle.
Yeah.
It's weird. So Piers Morgan, for me, is an obnoxious person. He should not be a TV presenter.
I agree.
I'm not a big fan of what he is, and I'm saying it out loud. I've been saying it before. I think he is one guy that is about the clout. If I go on and say something controversial right now, people are going to share my views.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that even his co-host, was saying he's an amazing guy. Even there's who was married. A lot of people came out in his defense because they know him maybe personally. I am pretty sure maybe personally he's cool, but then he has this face on TV and it goes like that. So yeah.
Sometimes I think he says something's just to be controversial and I don't even know whether he actually believes it. He just goes for the controversial line.
For example, one of the things, because how this whole thing sparked, and again, he's looking for controversy. He brings the weatherman, Alex something, and to the show, and they have a discussion because he's black, and they talk, and he was expressing his views as a black man.
Right.
What is Meghan feeling? So with Piers, he said a couple of things that are weird. One of them is this. First of all, he totally put on the side the mental health of Meghan Markle.
He said he didn't believe her, yeah.
And the mental health situation, especially in the West,
Focused.
can't mess with that.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot, if I come to you right now, Anna, and tell you I was a victim for this and that, if you don't believe me, the shame is on you, not me.
Absolutely.
So,
which is what they said.
The communication, now whether believe or not, right or no, that's not up to you, Piers. But you trash her like that, so that's one. And I think the main, by the way, they were talking yesterday, the main complaints came because of that, not because of race and stuff like that. It came because of the mental health. The second thing he said, which was very interesting, to give him credit to that, he said, royal family, there are old people there, they're asking, what is the color of the child? Right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? And then people lost it. Like, what? Think about it for a second right here. Meghan Markle is mixed race.
Yes.
Her father is white. Her mom is not totally black. She's also
Right.
So she's not, she is a certain, color.
Yeah.
Obviously, Prince Harry is white. Ginger hair.
Very red-haired.
If we're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So he was saying it, so what if a grandma, like someone who's 89 years old or whatever, because they didn't say who said this comment, right? Said, hey, I'm just curious, what would the color of the child be? Now, with the with the black community, they were saying, there's a certain tone. And maybe Meghan felt at that time, because it's about the tone, maybe the question itself is maybe innocent.
Yes, which is actually what her father said yesterday. Do you remember when I said there was a headline and he said, look, it might just be a dumb question. Yeah. So it depends on the tone. It depends on the context. Of course, it depends on the context.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she was having such a horrible time at that time. And also, remember, that is such a sensitive issue. To even ask that question in these times at the moment crosses all sorts of kind of ethical lines and is not appropriate. So I can imagine that did cause chaos.
Yeah.
But it's. I also heard someone yesterday, actually quite a famous psychologist, who said this personally to a friend of mine. She turned around when asked about the interview and said, "Do you know what? What I'm seeing is therapy being done in front of millions of people across the globe with Oprah." So, you know, the interview was a kind of a cathartic cleansing, and this is one view, and they didn't like the fact that what we're watching is almost a therapy session. They needed to say this and they needed to say that, and they needed to feel better about some of these things coming out. But was it right to do it with Oprah in front of the world on national TV or international TV?
I think, yeah. I mean, this is again, this is
all different.
But
facets, isn't it?
this was also Piers Morgan. I think. Look, the whole thing. I mean, Alex, who is the black presenter who was with him, he's saying,
Yeah.
I know you off air, you're not racist, but the things that you've said about Meghan here in this case, and how you're portraying and how it is, I do think he just got slapped in the face, because right now I'm just reading 45,000 plus complaints. It's the highest ever.
Right.
When you have 45,000 people complaining,
you're losing your job.
You've done. I don't know if they haven't come out yet. I don't know if it was lost his job or he left or whatever. I don't think that really matters right now. I think he'd definitely get another opportunity. But I think still the discussion is, some people went to the extent of even saying he quit so that he divert the attention on him.
Well,
you know what I mean? And people are
yeah.
going to stop talking about the maid, because obviously the palace released a statement,
They did.
beautiful statement in terms of like, we're going to deal with this whole thing privately. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like in terms of, we're going to deal with it face to face, eye to eye,
So
zoom
it
to
was
zoom.
about
done.
just on that, because it's quite an interesting. The Queen never does. They never do. The palace does not sort of reply to things, and it does that because it can't be seen to take a stand on issues.
Yeah.
So the palace
Yeah.
will, and they have taken so much flack from the press over the years, and they just take it and they very calmly and quietly move on. This is one of the first times ever that something has been drafted. It was about 6 or 7 lines long. I'm going to paraphrase the Queen. It was from her, apparently. And remember, she's been kept out of it by Meghan and Harry. They were very quick to say, look, we know they didn't want to say anything nasty about the Queen or the Duke of Edinburgh, her husband. But there was one small line in it where she said, clearly things have been interpreted in different ways.
Yeah.
However, we feel that we will discuss all of these, you know, and she was saying that these are awful things, and we hope if Meghan and Harry have felt this way, this is clearly dreadful, but yes, we will handle it internally.
Yeah.
The statement everyone's analysing is just the small little sentence that said, clearly we feel things have been portrayed differently. So, i.e., Meghan and Harry read things one way, the royal family feel that actually it was this way.
And I think it's
which is fair.
You're talking about, you know, you're talking about a big history right here, and I agree with you. They're not going to go and talk about every single thing. The thing is, what's interesting, if you see the whole interview, which is something that didn't get publicized a lot, but I watched the whole interview yesterday.
Yeah.
Prince Harry spoke about how it's so similar what Princess Diana said and what Meghan is saying. There's a lot of similarities, and it's shocking. If you just watch it, there's this video showcasing, look what's the difference of the years between both.
Oh God.
So
Really?
it's how they're feeling, the feeling of it. You know, how you said yesterday how she wasn't ready.
No,
well,
she
Princess
wasn't
Diana
ready.
wasn't ready.
No.
And she talked about it.
Yeah.
She's like, I wasn't ready, I didn't know. And it's the same, you wouldn't expect it. So stuff like that. I do think at the end of the day, maybe things got lost in translation. The trick part here is social media. And Prince Harry said that. The difference is social
he did say that, didn't
media.
he? Yeah.
Period. There was no social media back then.
Yeah.
And now social media, everyone has an opinion. Things
And
can
it
go
becomes
viral.
a live wire instantly.
Instantly on this hot potato.
Yeah.
Boom. The whole thing yesterday, by the way, happened in few minutes.
Yeah.
He Piers got really annoyed. He left and then came back, cooled down. And then obviously later on kind of either resigned or let go. We don't know that yet. But I just think, technically speaking, what I love about this whole topic for me is us having uncomfortable discussions, especially with race.
Yeah.
And people want to maybe make it political. I think the focus is this, you know, race situation going on. People maybe sometimes, Anna, don't get the fact that that's my focus. Prince Harry, traumatized when he was young.
Yeah.
He wants to maybe go out. And maybe this was his way to also get out.
Yeah, of course.
People-
This was his. There's something that draws him to Meghan, and she clearly gives him wings and gives him the freedom.
Maybe that's the
and
case,
let's
you know?
see how it goes. Yeah, absolutely. And take that on completely. And I hope that my royal family aren't racist. I know that it will have been a massive deal. That this is the first time they've ever let anything other than the themselves. There's this constant need to marry appropriately with every royal family.
Yeah.
They concentrate on that.
It was a new move as well, because to be honest, she comes from a mixed race. She comes with her baggage
she's American as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and I honestly think that's bigger than the other issue of race. I think it's that she's American. That's far bigger for us. Americans have been dying to marry into the royal family, and we've rejected a couple. I mean, we had one king that abdicated because he wanted to marry the love of his life, and she was American. She was divorced, and the royal family wouldn't have that. So it's so similar to any royal family around the world.
Facts.
I think the thing that they do, I think everyone expects Britain to be better, and I think they expect the royal family to be purer and better. And the reality is, they need to protect themselves. There is a format that you stick to.
Yeah.
You do not talk out of school. You do not talk to the press about personal things. And Harry and Meghan have broken all these things. They've left. They've spoken to the press. They've gone off independently. This is a lot for the royal family to handle.
Now, I see where that coming, but social media is playing a big role.
Yeah,
these guys
right.
are young, so like for me, I get it. Like I get where they're coming from. But I just, I wish everybody really safe. Like that's the most important thing. Everybody to be okay. Yeah. But now it's hot potato. Everyone is, because again, with Piers, he's not really loved by a lot of people. He's hated by many.
Yeah.
Many people don't like his ideologies, what he stands for, how he even talks sometimes.
I'm not a fan. I think he's horrible.
I'm definitely not a fan. But again, this is what he is, and he went on and defended. He went back again,
and defended his own point of view,
and said, "I still believe that I was right." And
he uses such an English phrase. It's really funny. The phrase he uses, because I wondered if you were going to ask me what it meant. He says that the accusations against the royal family were contemptible, which I understand why he's saying that. And then he said everything that Meghan Markle said was a diatribe of bilge.
Bilge?
Bilge is like a nasty substance of fish tails and fish heads, and bilge is nasty. And he said a diatribe is when it's just an awful onslaught of dialogue. He actually made a quote by Sir Winston Churchill saying the quote is quote. Some people's idea of free speech is that they are free to say that what they like, but if anyone says anything back, that's is an outrage. So he's like, what? They've said all this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my opinions, and now you're getting me fired. Yeah. And that is what he's saying.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Let us know 4215. It's a lot, and we'll leave you with a little bit of business headlines, and then we're going to be right back. Keep it locked. Yellow Home.
Yellow Home
with Ella Schofield
and Big Hass.
Live through till 8 o'clock, and it's 6:45 now. Anna and Hass at your service. 4215 if you want to chat about anything that we're talking about. Let's talk about fast cars. In fact, let's talk about supercars.
Tell me.
So, the UAE police are kind of renowned for having supercars. And they like to add to their collection. They've got loads. They've just acquired a new one. It's a Toyota 2021 GR Supra. Apparently it's longitudinally mounted, because you can hear that I really know exactly what I'm talking about. It's turbocharged, 6-cylinder the engine, and an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's a 3-litre powerhouse. It can accelerate to 100 kilometres in 41 seconds and is capable of an electronically limited top speed of 250 kilometres per hour. Boom!
Wow.
Yeah,
that's dope. Speaking of the UAE, obviously we are going to be blessed with the month of Ramadan next month, 11th or 12th of April. Now, new rules in Sharjah, new COVID rules in Sharjah. Sadly, iftar tents are banned, which is, again, a shame, but that's the way it is. The Sharjah Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management Team has issued several COVID safety rules for the residents to follow during the holy month of Ramadan. And, these are the situations that we're in.
Is what it is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it because Ramadan is all about, family gatherings and stuff like that. And obviously last year we experienced that, and then this year we're gonna have, obviously the same thing. And actually Saudi Arabia came out and said that you cannot do Hajj right now without a vaccination, which is interesting again. But it's just the way it is, and we all have to kind of adapt, and that's what's happening. Last year we were in it, And this year we're trying to adapt with this new life.
Yeah.
And remember last year I told you that this is going to be till end of 2022. Somebody was saying a high end from the government was out, was talking about it like in one of the conferences I was emceeing, and he said that this was not going to be disappearing anytime soon. End of 2022 maybe. What he said by that, just to clarify, it's the way of us living, which is, you've had COVID, you went through it.
Yeah.
You're great, you're good, your family is great. People had it, and some people were lucky, some people weren't lucky.
Yeah.
And I just think that this,
Really right.
what he meant by the style is the mask, the
Sanitizing, taking care of everything.
the social distancing, and I don't really know. I don't really think that's a bad thing. I know the bad thing is the people are not together anymore, but that's the situation we're in right now.
Humans love humans, though. We want to be with each other.
I get it. I totally get that idea.
So difficult for us to operate like this.
It is. And the mental health situation affecting everybody in the world. So now with Ramadan coming in and approaching us, I think this is the second year in a row right now where, people are going to be, Ramadan is all about also family and just being together and one and your neighborhood, like especially I remember in Saudi Arabia, neighborhoods would do these iftar tents. So now in Sharjah, they've banned these iftar tents. They're banned. I don't know about other Emirates. I'm pretty sure it's the same. But in Sharjah, iftar tents are banned. And it's what's beautiful about this? It is sad because like the rich would sit next to the poor, and the the Emirati would sit next to the Indian. This would sit different nationalities, different backgrounds, different,
Wow.
They all have one thing in common, which is they want to they break their fast right now. Which I think is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. But let us know what you guys think. 4215, it's Slot and do up.
Yella Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
Music's greatest songs. Greatest songs. Worth covering. Original classic hitmakers.
This is going to be such fun talking about this energized performer. So amazing. Armando Christian Perez. He was born in 1981, January, known professionally, of course, as his stage name Pitbull. And I can tell you why he's called Pitbull. We're going to talk about some of his music, how he rebranded. He's a huge activist. I'll tell you what he stands for. And then we're going to play one of his biggest hits, which is the first song he released after he rebranded and started to sing in English. And you're hearing it under me now. He's a really interesting character. And you don't necessarily know that from the kind of music that he sings. So yes, there's reggaeton in there, there's Latin hip hop, but there's this crunk music thing. So I know, am I saying it wrong? Honestly, I absolutely knew, and I thought, I'm just going to keep saying it, and then if it is wrong, Has will correct me. I'm not...
Oh my God. I think my heart is skipped.
Okay, tell me.
What did you say?
I don't know.
No.
Is it the reggaeton bit? Reggaeton. How do you pronounce it?
I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you.
You're so mean to me.
Reggaeton?
I know. I was like, how do you say that again? I've heard other people.
Say it again.
No, I'm not now. You're just being mean.
Is it?
Help me.
Reggaeton.
Reggaeton.
Yeah.
That sounds like pasta. Reggaetoni. Okay.
Imagine I'm wrong right now. That'll be
Right.
fine. No, yeah.
Please let you be right.
Reggaeton. Yo, that's the highlight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you.
I'm so pleased this is going out on SoundCloud. You can catch my mistakes whenever you like on SoundCloud. All right, so let's just push that to one side. My knowledge of that is obviously extensive. Latin, do you know the stupid thing? I listen to loads of it. I love it. So the fact that I can't say it is just perfection.
but just to, I love that because we cannot genre music. I'm not a big fan of labeling music.
Yeah, I don't like
just
genre
good music.
music.
You don't know it's reggaeton. The vibe, I get it. It's
Reggaetoni. I love the way you say it.
Reggaeton.
You really give the Italians some muscle there. I know it's not Italian, but you're saying it like you're bringing me pasta.
Yeah, I got
And
some
garlic
reggaeton
bread.
with you today with some garlic bread.
Reggaetoni. Amazing.
Yeah,
All right. So we've established this that I'm not good on genres and how to pronounce that word. Latin hip hop. Let's go there. That's absolutely fine. And then there is this genre of music that all the way through my research of Pitbull kept cropping up. Crunk. So I'm like, I need to know what crunk is. So off I go to find crunk, and I have got the depiction of crunk. And now I know that's what it is. Now I get it. So if you are thinking, I don't know what crunk is either, welcome to the party. I'm happy. Let's talk about it. It's a sub-genre of hip-hop music. I immediately kicked Tass off. He had a mood swing and went off muttering. But it's a sub-genre of hip-hop music. It emerged in the 1990s and it gained mainstream success in the mid-2000s. It's like that up-tempo kind of dance club-oriented sub-genre, but it's where they have a main groove. So this is what they do. They layer keyboard synths. There's a drum machine in it. There's a clapping rhythm. Listen to what we're listening to now. This is exactly it. Heavy bass lines and shouting vocals. And it's that whole call and response thing. I'm going to say this. The crowd are going to go, yeah. And it's that whole, listen, that's your life. You are walking crunk.
I'm walking crunk.
You're walking crunk.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm a crunk.
Your call and response. You go into Forever 21 and start a party in the oversized section for leather jackets.
Yeah.
Fact.
Facts.
Amazing. You're walking crunk. So that's what it is. It's sort of a blanket term, and it denotes any style of southern hip hop, a side effect of mainstream. And now it's derived from African American kind of slang, saying to crank. So if you crank it up, we all know what that means. It means if you're excited, here we go, crank it up, and you are gonna give it some crunk. There we go. Definition given. Right, now we're all educated. Let's go back to Pitbull, who's famous, of course, for his crunk music. But he's got, they give him lots of genres because actually he does that thing. He transcends and he plays with his music. So in 2004, he releases his debut, which was Miami, full stops in all of it, obviously spelling Miami, and that's where he's from. And that was under TVT Records. And he had Lil Jon as his executive producer. So he releases this second album, then he releases a third album, his fourth album, Rebellion, spelt in a different way, super good. Now this is where he had a breakthrough single, Know You Want Me. Oh yes, that famous one. Now at this point, because we don't know, do we? At this point, he decides to rebrand himself, and he rebrands himself as a pop artist. His next album is an English one, Planet Pit, and enter the world stage, Pitbull, because he has the number one single, Gimme Everything. And this track from 2013, which we're listening to now, was from the Global Warming Meltdown album. It topped the charts. This is incredible. It topped the charts in 20 nations. He was number one in 18 countries all at the same time, including the US and the UK. And he just went everywhere. And of course, then he was collaborating with Jennifer Lopez. He did 2 tracks with her. He did the official theme of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Then he released another album, Bang, Bang, Bang. Super incredible kind of launch from the rebrand. He sold over 7.5 million studio albums, over 100 million singles worldwide. He has 15 billion views on YouTube as of May 2020. And he's ranked by Billboard as the 45th top artist of the 2010s and the 24th top Latin artist of the 2010s. Let's just talk about his family for a sec, because all this crunking and thrusting actually comes from the fact that he was born in Florida, in Miami, in 1981. And when he was 3, he could recite the works of Cuba's national hero and poet, Jose Marti, in Spanish. So at the age of 3. So he was always good with words. He was all about the talking, the communication. Some people are. Look at the apples in this room right now. And he was influenced by sort of Miami-based genre of pop music. None of the artists I knew when I was looking at them, but that was his inspiration. So that's where his feel comes from. Quite interestingly and very importantly for him, because it defined him, Perez's Pitbull. His parents separated when he was young, and then he was raised by his mother. And this is an age-old story for a lot of artists. At one point, he ended up spending time in a foster family in Georgia. So clearly things weren't, they don't dwell on it. He doesn't want to talk about that stuff, clearly, because there's not a lot. And when I try to delve into the personal life of Pitbull, there's not a lot of stuff on it. You can find bits, but there's not loads, whereas normally it's all out there for me to just grab and sort of put together. He went to schools in Miami, Miami Coral Park High School. Sounds so good. And he chose his stage name, Pitbull, because this is a quote from him: "Those dogs bite to lock. The dog is too stupid to lose, and they're outlawed in a lot of states in America. You're not allowed a pit bull because, once that thing bites you, it's not letting go. Not like Biden's dog in the White House, who did let go and has now been banished. Anyway, Pitbull turned around, the artist, and said that pit bulls, the actual dogs, they're basically everything that I am. It's been a constant fight. And it wasn't till he met Lil Jon in Miami that actually he got any kind of recognition, and he joined bands, and then his story went from there. But ultimately, he has fought and scraped and clawed his way up. And anyone who's been in the foster kind of situation, I can only, I have a heart squeeze for that, because you can only imagine being taken away from your parents and living with a strange family and etc., etc. So that is Pitbull's history, and that is why he's the man he is. But he sings major crunk music, which is all about celebration and whipping up the crowd. So it has an element of MC in it, but it's half rap, it's half not rap. If you talk to Hass will be like, Pitbull's not a rapper.
No.
But when you
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, not really.
No,
you said.
No. This is why genre comes in. He's rapping. So
because he's talking on the music, but he's not.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's going to be in a discussion of greatest rappers of all time.
No.
Or even the top 10, top 50.
Right.
So, but he's rapping technically.
Yeah,
he's
because
rapping.
He's not singing.
No,
So,
he's not
do you know
singing.
what I mean? He's
so,
not singing.
So that's why. No, he's definitely a rapper. A rapper. A singer, artist, but. He's tricky because the name and what the kind of music he does, this the music that we hear, this is not. This is more like dance / crunk. You're saying
it's crunk.
It's not your typical maybe hip hop, rap vibe maybe.
Southern hip hop.
But yeah, shout out to him, of course. Yeah.
Apparently. Now, Give Me Everything. So the first #1 single on the US Billboard Hot 100 for every artist on the record. Because Neo's in it. So there are a few other artists in it. Neo's in it. You've got the Dutch DJ Afrojack. He's in it. Who else is in it? And just that's them. Oh, Naya's in it. And Pitbull. So they all get together, predominantly Pitbull, and everyone had #1 with it. They all enjoyed it. Blah blah blah. And it did all the things that I talked about. It went up and down through the nations. Why are you laughing now?
Blah blah blah.
You know what I mean. I've already talked about how amazing the single is. It's #1 in 18 countries. Oh.
You're so funny, Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta crack me up
blah
today.
blah.
Yeah.
No, it's and it's received amazing reviews from everyone.
It's a great
Blah, blah,
song. What a tune. Oh man.
The energy. So but that's the crunk that we're hearing, and that's what they're talking. So let's enjoy this. This is my first crunk track actually to the Music Greats in 3 years.
Yellow Home
With Anna Schofield.
and Big House.
That is correct. We're live through till 8:20 to 7 now. Wherever you are across 7 Emirates, nice having you part of the Yalla Home family. Let's talk about dogs that are biting people in the White House.
Wow. I mean, I saw the headline. It's shocking, man. The headlines you see. So, long story short, there was a couple of dogs in the White House. They always stayed there, or they came with the Bidens, or what happened?
No, right. So this is how it went down. I'll break it down for you.
Break it down.
There's Champ and Major.
Major. And they're
Champ
always
and
there?
They're Alsatians. No. They belong to Mr. and Mrs. Biden.
Great.
Okay. So, excuse me, I need to cough.
Sure. And it's happening. It's all good.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
I just thought I'd flag it. I shouldn't have had a banana earlier. It's very bad for you. Anyway, so when he was inaugurated, there was a big deal about this, because I remember the commentator going, what's quite interesting about Joe Biden and the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, is that they're taking their dogs with them to the White House. They're going in.
Okay.
So some presidents have actually taken a cat or something, but dogs, not so much. They don't always take dogs. Yeah, apparently a big deal.
Obama's had a dog?
I think it's happened before, but it's not a common thing.
Okay.
Anyway, so in go the Alsatians, Champ and Major.
Nice.
And everything apparently is fine. However, the younger dog, Major,
Okay.
he's not been so happy. It's a big move for them. They went from, lots of land and garden and stuff like that to being in that massive place. They have to get an elevator to go anywhere they want to go. They don't really like the elevators, apparently. They haven't taken well to the elevators. And the younger one in particular, Major, not happy. Now, obviously, there's lots of people, but they're allowed to kind of wander around the corridors. Only they started to cop a bit of an attitude with people, the dogs. So
Really?
there's been a couple of incidents where, Major has sort of, there's lots of barking, there's lots of lunging towards people. The thing is, you don't need that when you're at work. I would be frightened. An Alsatian is a big old unit. They're used by police for a reason. They're incredibly intelligent animals. But in the UK, we use them. They're police dogs, Alsatians, and you do not mess with an Alsatian. They've got a big old set of teeth, and they're a big dog. Anyway, so Major kept getting himself into small scrapes, but nothing happened until he was surprised by an unfamiliar person yesterday and reacted in a way that resulted in the individual being hurt, and it had to be handled by the White House medical unit. No further treatment was needed, but Major, obviously, and Champ have now been shipped off. The Bidens are actually, it's German Shepherds. We call them Alsatians, but the real thing is German Shepherds. And Major's only 3. He's young. Champ's the old one, 13, and Champ's a bit more chilled. But the thing is, they haven't taken it well, and apparently they like living there less when the First Lady's not there, and she went off to attend some event, and so this took place when she wasn't there, and they just went, right, okay. And they're saying, oh no, the White House is saying, oh no, the dogs were being moved anyway. They were being moved to whatever house they live in, the Bidens, really. Anyway, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. They needed kind of removing because they were being a bit naughty.
Period.
Just the end.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
It is.
I
it's a
love
funny
the thought
headline.
of this dog being, like part of people's day. And there you are with high-powered documents, and you need to get them to the president because someone could set off a nuclear explosion on the way, and Alsatian goes...
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the Queen has what do you call it? 2 dogs?
Oh, she's got corgis though.
Corgis. These are what?
She's got 5 or 6, I think. She loves them.
Yeah, that's cool. They don't do anything.
They're small. They're used to Buckingham Palace. I don't think Buckingham Palace has as many people in it as the White House does. It would be like taking the corgis to the Houses of Parliament.
Okay.
Everyone's in the White House.
I got you.
So it's a bit.
It's very interesting. The headline, because I saw it today, and obviously in Arabic headlines, it's funny that they mention. Biden's dog shipped out and stuff like that. It's just a funny headline. Yeah. With everything that's going on in the world, with all the things that these kind of headlines come through, and they really wow, that's a headline right now. That's what we're talking about.
Only because it's unusual.
I know. It's because it's White House, and it's the American president, and I'm just imagining how head of states would talk to each other. If the president of America is talking to, let's say, whoever, president or a king. Oh yeah, I heard about your dogs. I'm so sorry.
And they probably will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how's your dog?
How was your dog? I feel bad. How you miss them? Oh yeah, let's talk about what's happening in this country. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. What I mean?
Yeah, we'll deal with Black Lives Matter in a minute.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yellow Home
With Anna Schofield.
and Big House.
Live till 8, of course, the day before the weekend, and just after 7:30.
100%. Tokyo 2020. Let's talk about that. Obviously, 2021. Japan announced that there's going to be only spectators without overseas, or without overseas spectators.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I think this is the way it is. The games have already been postponed for a year, obviously due to this COVID-19 situation, and organizers were hopeful international visitors would be able to attend. This was the hopes. However, the Japanese government has said welcoming fans from abroad would not be possible given public concerns about coronavirus. They don't want to get into that in terms of vaccine and who got vaccinated and the spread of the variants from other countries.
Right.
This is what the Japanese government is saying, and that's actually totally understandable. The opening ceremony of the torch relay will also be held without spectators, sadly, because that's one of the most beautiful things ever. And this is the whole new normal thing. This is coming in from officials. They're saying the organizing committee has decided it is essential to hold the ceremony in the northeastern of Fukushima behind closed doors, only permitting participants and invitees to take part in the event to avoid large crowds forming because of the pandemic, obviously. So it is.
It's a big thing, because if they postpone it and have it afterwards, they can invite people in. They'll make more money. So
yeah.
it'll be a loss of income for them to host this and not have people there. So it's quite an interesting
Economically,
decision.
I don't know how this stands in because I think sponsors are still, going to carry it. But I think it's going to be interesting to talk about that. And they say they would really like people from around the world to come to a full stadium, but unless we are prepared to accept them and the medical situation in Japan is perfect, 100%, it will cause a great deal of trouble also to visitors from overseas.
Yeah.
And this is what, this is what the government in Japan is saying. And totally understandable. I think they're thinking right because you can't control it.
No.
And you can't be having all these people from outside and then limit them.
Yeah.
So they're cutting it from the straight up, and I think it's important. And this is the new normal that I was talking about. And that's why you see a lot of new companies right now, all these live events. I had a company approach me the other day, and they said, we're so good at live events, so we're going to do this and do that. People buy tickets, but it's not the same, obviously. But this is where, we say in Arabic, al-haja al-ikhtira', which is an English saying of need of necessity. Needs and I don't know how to translate it in English, but if you figure it out, figure it out. Like when you're in need, you can come up with things.
Right.
So obviously we're in need of so many ideas right now, and ideas gets, born, which is very, very interesting. Speaking of born, you're right, Anna.
I'm all right. I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, I know. I did a studio dash. I was just looking when it's the 25th of March, the Olympics. Okay, it's quite early.
Starting 25th of March.
Yeah, so that's why. Because I was thinking, when is this?
The relay, which is really cool. But yeah, the whole thing is going to be watch from outside if you're outside Japan.
If you liked this episode of Yalla Home, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.